City of Stevens Point Finance Committee meeting, recorded Monday, July 8, 2019.
Good evening, everybody. We will call the Finance Committee for July 8th. I guess we'd go right to the items. Attendance has been taken with Alderman Shore excused. First item on the list is payment to the Redevelopment Authority Housing Trust Fund for 281 Washington Avenue. I don't know, Corey, if you want to take this, or we leave this with Michael? Michael, I guess you're
I
on
think
deck.
Michael can explain it.
Michael's getting up.
I should say Director Ostrowski.
So these next two agenda items are relating to the same property. The city had a loan on the property for redevelopment purposes out of our CDBG funds that we administer through CAP Services. The Redevelopment Authority also had a loan on this property through our Housing Trust Fund. City's loan was about $22,000. The Redevelopment Authority's loan was just under $28,000. The property we got back in form of a deed in lieu of foreclosure. Since we had the primary mortgages on the property, we were able to take the property back. So the city took title back to the property. So with this action, we would pay off the RA's portion of the Housing Trust Fund loan. The next item on the agenda would be for the management for the leasing of that property.
Any questions from Michael?
Oh, go ahead. One. May I? Thank you. So for now, we're going to rent it? Is that?
That is the intent.
Are we ever going to look at selling?
You know, we're going to analyze that right now. So this
Okay.
property is located just north of where the boat landing is. The city owns several properties up there. That area has been, identified in several plans as potential other redevelopment options. So at this point in time, we would just look at leasing the property. If we ever wanted to sell it, I'm sure we could.
So, okay.
But at this point in time, we would look at leasing. The next item on the agenda would be a contract with Candlewood
Sure.
to do that.
Look
leasing.
at leasing to give us time to evaluate options for other redevelopment opportunities, which could mean raising the house and looking at some other things, or?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions for the director? Alderperson Nabel.
Alder Nabel, 1100 Phillips Street, District 3. Thank you. I just have a question on what the value of this house is at this time. And does that mean there's no property taxes then being paid on this, or has there not been any paid for the last how many years for example? Just kind of get an idea, because that goes on our tax base and helps us for our city stuff. So I just wanted to know those things. Thank you.
Sure. So I don't have the assessed value in front of me.
281.
And then as far as taxes, just the July installment is due. And then also because it was owned by a private person as of the first of this year, it will still get a tax bill in December, so it is still taxable for tax year 2019. So we would also have to pay the tax bill that comes in December, and then it would become tax exempt because it would be under city ownership.
Unless we sell it.
So the property is valued at $58,000. The improvements are $45,500. Land is $12,500. We get about $1,300 a year in taxes on it.
Mayor, you have a comment?
So, and thank you, Director Ostrowski, for looking it up. Those property values are available online, but if we didn't have it immediately available, I was going to get it to you tomorrow. The other thing to note is that we will likely make more in rental income, even after paying a management company, than we would in property taxes, at least until we decide what we're going to do with it.
Thank you, Mayor. Any more questions for Michael? I don't know if you want to stay there for a little bit. Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to, anybody there? Alderman Swirsky.
I'll move to make a payment to the Redevelopment Authority Housing Trust Fund for 281 Washington Avenue for the amount of $27,800.
Second.
Seconded by Alderperson Johnson. Any more questions, comments after the motion? We'll call for the question. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion is carried. Item 2, contract with Candlewood Property Management for managing 281 Washington Avenue. Michael?
So as we've done with Candlewood with Edgewater Banner, the property out on Highway 10 East, we've managed, or had them manage these properties. Their payment is 7% of rents collected, and then they charge us an hourly fee for maintenance, and then they do the repairs. We've worked well with Candlewood and really have no issues with them. I'd recommend proceeding with that. And it helps us standardize things a little bit too with having the same management company. I will have the formal contract in front of the council. They were able to just get it to me, so we're making a couple modifications, but it'll be in front of council on Monday.
One question.
Questions for the director?
I have one, sir.
Sure.
Thank you. The home doesn't need any additional work for us to rent it out?
It may. We've got to take a look at the inside.
Okay. We haven't done that yet.
Correct.
Got it.
Jeremy?
As most of you know, I'm not a big fan of taking on, property and competing with the private sector. My question, I guess, for Michael or the mayor, you had stated that we have other properties on Washington. I know, I recall us purchasing one, but what other properties and where are they in relation to this?
Sure. So this is a block that would be bounded by Washington, Forest, and Franklin, and then the boat landing to the west. And what I meant by redevelopment plans is we've had several plans that we've done, whether it be our housing study, redevelopment plans that have called for this block as a potential redevelopment block. Some of the other properties that we own on it, we do own a site that was for the community gardens. We just acquired one right next to the boat landing as well, so this would be, I believe, the third property within this block.
And again, so we really don't, other than we're gonna contract with Candlewood to maintain it, but is this gonna come back to us as far as a decision, what we're gonna do? Are we gonna keep it? Are we gonna sell it? Or, is that coming back to us?
If you'd like it to come back to you, we can. We'd look at leasing it at least for a year, but if you'd like it to come back to you, we can do that as well.
And then as far as the repairs?
We'd look and see what those are, and they would have to, there's a specified amount under the contract that they would have approval for doing each repair. But if there are large repairs, then we'd have to take that out of a property management account
Okay, thanks.
with the rents to cover the maintenance of those repairs.
Any other questions for the director? Alderperson Dugan?
It's more of a comment regarding Candlewood. Since I've sold my house and moved into an apartment, and they're the property maintenance people, I can say that, number one, they want to work with good owners, owners that want to repair things. Not all of them do. So they would be very happy with us, and they're good at repairing. I just ask them, and they do it. And they're very happy to have, I think, a tenant and an owner that will follow through. So if we're going to rent that place, I think we've got a good manager.
Thank you. Any further questions for the director? Alderperson Abel.
Cindy Nabel, District 3. I just wanted to also state that Candlewood has been excellent, and I think we're lucky for our city to have such a caring and really professional person and people working for this. If I have something that I see in my neighborhood, and I know it's a Candlewood property, and I wish I could do this for all property owners, if they would let me know, because I just call them and they're like, thank you for telling us, and it's fixed. It's taken care of, and it doesn't keep reoccurring. So I think that we're really fortunate to have that they're willing to work with people as much as they possibly can. So thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Motion.
Person Johnson.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract with Candlewood Property Management for the management of 281 Washington.
And the second is Sean?
Second.
Okay.
And Jeremy has a comment.
Jeremy?
I guess I mean, it sounds like we're owners of the property, correct?
Yes.
I would much rather do an assessment of the property, see exactly what it's gonna involve to fix it up. I mean, we basically are saying we're gonna contract with them to manage it and fix it up, but we don't even know what's needed. I mean, I would much rather get an assessment, postpone for a month, find out what exactly, is it livable, is it how much updates need to be done, and then make the decision, okay, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna sell it? Are we gonna rent it? We gonna, so I'm not gonna support the motion that's on the floor right now, just for that reason.
Okay. Thank you. Any further questions? Okay, we'll call for the question. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Hearing one, motion is carried. Okay, item 3 is the modification to the development agreement with DJ Rice Development LLC, former Grant School, site bounded by Frederick Street, Washington Avenue, Grant Street, and 4th Avenue. I guess you saw everything in your packet there, but Director Ostrowski, I guess we need to, oh, you're already there, that's good.
Just a
Questions?
quick little update on what's occurring here is, you may recall we approved a development agreement with them to construct 10 twin homes, 20 total units on this property. They're looking to modify that to change out 2 of the twin homes that face Frederick Street into single-family homes. Relatively, it's going to be a little bit less value, but relatively minor. It diversifies the housing stock within this area and actually makes a good fit for the transition, the ones that face Frederick Street. So we'd recommend approval. This did go through Plan Commission. They did recommend approval as well, so it'd be in front of council then next week.
Thank you. Any questions from the director? Any questions for the director from the audience? I guess, do we have a motion? Alderperson
I'll
Johnson?
make that motion to modify the development agreement with DJ Rice Development LLC for the Grant School property.
And seconded by Alderman Slawinski. Any more comments, questions?
I have a comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think it's good that they are gonna put some single-family homes. I think this is gonna help the area. So people want, because a lot of folks would like a single family as opposed to living in a condo and so on. So I think this is a very good, positive step.
Thank you. Any more questions, comments? Call for the question. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, motion is carried. Item 4, consideration of claims. Karina?
Alderman?
Alderman.
Alderman. Damage to the vehicle window.
Yes.
You saw that in the packet. Comment, is the person here? This one No? Okay. Sorry, you can take it from here.
Sure. So the claim was related to a rock that hit somebody's window. And typically when this happens, the person will stop and say, hey, and talk to the crew and kind of get the crew to substantiate what happened. In this case, the person did not stop and there was no memory of anything occurring as far as the crews that were on site. They didn't remember any kind of an incident occurring, so the recommendation from our insurance company is to deny the claim.
Thank you. Questions, comments, motions?
Motion to deny.
I'll second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Slawinski. Questions or comments from the audience? Seeing none, we'll call for the question. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, motion is carried. Item 5, Approval of claims. And I know you all walked through these and looked at them really, really good. So I need a motion.
Quiet bunch tonight.
Mo- Motion by?
Oh, I'll make a motion to approve the claims paid. And once again, thank Corey for highlighting unusual expenses. It's very helpful.
Seconded by? Okay. Questions from the audience? Okay, none, we'll call for the question. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion is carried. We are adjourned at
About 6:23.
6:23.
Videos of these meetings are available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.